Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, Retro Life for You, movies of the 1980s. We are starting our month of December, and you know what that means. We're in
Christmas.
Christmas. Exactly. Christmas movies. We did. We
Hmm.
stuck with our guns and we did the Halloween in the month of October. This is all about Christmas
All
throughout this
about
month.
Christmas.
So we got four movies picked out, and we
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
may even slide in a couple of extras, Travis. We might even slide in a couple of extra podcasts during the month. I mean, if I'm not busy during the week and somebody twists my arm hard enough, we may actually do that. Um, if you can
Me, I
see,
want a hula hoop.
don't get me started on bad Christmas songs now.
Oh,
I see you doing the chipmunks there, but I mean, we can
yeah.
bring up like Dominic the donkey and Grandma got run over by a reindeer, which is actually a favorite of mine.
Oh, Lord.
We could all kinds of crazy ones. So, and for those of you who are watching this, no, Travis is not a chameleon in any way, but his color is going in and out in some weird ways and fashion.
Yeah, and I got this weird glare that comes across my nose.
Not quite sure what is going on.
I'm about to go turn that lamp. I'm about to go
You
turn
think
the
you
lamp
think
on.
it's the lamp? You might try. If you want to turn the lamp
Yeah,
off.
no, look, it's on my finger, too.
Yeah, do you
Look
get
at
that
this. Look at
globe?
that.
You do the globe on still?
No, but look at that aberration. That's crazy.
Wow. You might try the lamp. It might be what it is. And I can,
Mm.
if you want to try that, I'll go ahead and start reading the intro here to what we're doing today. This is our
Go ahead.
first of four. We have chosen to start off with Gremlins. A lot of you wanted Gremlins for Halloween, and we
Well,
said no, we can't do it for Halloween because it's not really as much of a horror movie as it is a
is
Christmas
that better?
feel type movie. No Bray Wyatt. That's probably worse. Oh, actually, now you're kind of bright. Actually, yeah,
There we go.
yeah, that's pretty cool. So,
I'm gonna set it over here.
for those of you who may not remember Gremlins or might not have ever seen Gremlins, I'm gonna give you a little rundown here. Um, Gremlins, brought out in 1984, was directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus and produced Steven Spielberg.
He did not discover America.
He did not, but he did discover some movies in the 80s, though. It blends horror and comedy and Christmas all in one into the movie. So basically, in a small town of Kingston Falls, aspiring inventor Randall Peltzer purchases a mysterious creature called a mogwai from a Chinatown shop as a Christmas gift for his son. Uh, we use the
I'm gonna,
term we use the term purchase pretty loosely because the old man who had him didn't want to get rid of him, but the grandson said they need the money, and he sold it to him outside of the building. So
I'm gonna get me one of the bathroom buddies.
you gotta get you a bathroom, buddy. Just be wary that it doesn't work like he says it does.
Not all the
Uh,
time.
so the Mogwai is named Gizmo. An adorable little thing, but it comes with three critical rules that you really have to follow. There's no bright light; it can kill
Mhm.
them. Number
Right.
two, don't get them wet; they'll multiply.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And number three, no matter how much they beg, no matter how much they cry for it, never feed them after midnight. The consequences are catastrophic.
Yes.
So Billy, who is played by Zach Galligan, struggles to follow these rules,
Billy.
and chaos ensues when water accidentally spills on
Billy.
Gizmo, causing him to spawn mischievous offspring. These new
Yeah.
Mogwai are led by the devious Stripe. They trick Billy into feeding them after midnight, and this transforms them into vicious reptilian gremlins that wreak havoc on the town during Christmas Eve. So
Yes.
lots of fun to be had here. It sounds like.
But it wasn't Billy's fault, really.
Um, that
Not the feeding them
that
part.
daddy got wet the first time.
The feeding them part.
Oh, the feed no, because they tricked him. Well, it said in the detail there they tricked him into feeding him. They basically cut his cord on his clock, his alarm clock, and it looked like it was 11:35. So he thought he could
Yeah.
still feed him. As it turns out, they tricked him.
They tricked him.
Shame on them. That's all I can say. Shame on them. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, Travis, I'm not gonna ask you if you saw this in the theaters because I know that you did not see this in the theater. So
Did
what's the
not
first time you watched
see this. Did not see this in the theaters. I would have been what, 2 years old?
it? 4 years
Yeah,
old, I believe.
4 years old.
Yes. So when's the first time you remember watching this movie?
Um, probably in right before we moved to Aiken, so probably around 7 or 8 years old at the house.
Yeah.
Mom was worried whether or not it would scare me, and it didn't.
That was my next question. Did you find it more scary or more funny?
No, it was awesome.
Just awesome.
Yeah, I loved it when I was a kid.
A lot of people couldn't make up their mind whether it was supposed to be funny or scary. I didn't find anything scary about it, but for kids at a young age, watching some of the gremlins get killed, some of that might have been questionable for them. So, like later on in the
Yeah,
movie,
you
when they
know, the one
turn to
in the blender,
gremlins, the blender, the one in the microwave.
the one where he came in with the sword.
So, you know, I mean,
I'll tell you what, though, rewatching it now, which I had already rewatched it, I think a few months right before summer. I think I watched it back in spring just for the fun of it,
mhm,
and it is a lot more comical to me now than it was.
yeah,
And it was real cool too. Um, I watched most of it today. I ended up stopping and going doing some other stuff because my mother came over and we celebrated her birthday and Thanksgiving kind of combined a little late because of those 3 weeks when we were all sick. We didn't want to take it to her, but the what we call now Easter eggs in it
yeah.
were phenomenal, and I never noticed it before. Like, um, at one point where Billy's dad is on the phone with his wife, with his mom, with Billy's mom, and he's at the convention or whatever. Well, in the phone booth right behind him, you see a guy playing with Orson Welles' time machine, the time machine from Orson Welles' Time Machine,
Hmm.
and it cuts scene back over to the mom, and then when it cuts back, the time machine's gone, and people are like rubbing the floor, like, "What in the world? What was that?" And then, if I'm not mistaken, there was another point where he was still at the same convention. There was a Dalek, I think it was a Dalek from Doctor Who, like talking to him. And then when the pods were on the floor, you saw a Fangoria magazine. There was so much going on. Like, I'm going to go back and rewatch it again just to because all of that stuff caught my eye. But like I said, I was kind of watching it in passing just for kind of a little bit of a refresher, and a lot of things caught my eye that I never noticed before.
I think Burger King might have had a tie-in with them too, because there was a basically they make sure you can see the Burger King in the middle of town, and it's not
Oh,
its
for
own
sure.
separate building. It's in the one long row of buildings side by side by side, all one long building, but separated off into personal spaces. And
Hmm.
so they kind of highlight that Burger King twice. So I think they probably had maybe some glasses or toys or something for their kids' meal that
Oh, for
probably
sure.
was in the, to do with the Gremlins.
Yeah,
That's usually the case when you see something like that.
for sure.
There was also a poster of some sort going in when he was walking the Corey Feldman's character up to his
Hmm.
room to show him the Mogwai.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't remember what the poster was. I
There
want to
was
say
there was there was
it's
so
got
much going on.
it's got something to do with a movie that the um, the director and Steven Spielberg both worked on together before this. They were only on it for a little bit with each other, not a lot, but they were a part of
Um,
it. And I think that poster was a reference to that.
Okay. I see there was so much going on that I was when I did catch the couple little things, I forgot about a lot of other stuff because I was trying to keep I definitely wanted to mention the time machine thing because watching going back and rewatching Big Bang casually, I saw where the guys got the time they went in together and bought the time machine from the
Yeah.
Orson Welles thing. So that they caught my eye big time. I was like, man, I didn't want to forget it. So I probably missed quite a other few other things that I was looking for.
Um, Watching the movie now versus watching it back then. I viewed the first 30 minutes of it completely different than I did back then.
Mhm.
Back then was kind of like, ooh, look what happened. Oh, that's kind of funny. Can't believe that.
Mhm.
Like getting like letting Gizmo get the water spilled on him, right?
Mhm.
It's like I remember when it happened, I was like, oh no, what's happening? And in this, watching it now, I'm like, well, he's got like zero regard for Gizmo. He was told, don't get him wet, don't feed him after midnight, no bright lights, but he's done bright light him a couple of times by accident.
Yeah. What?
Although he's getting better with it,
Yeah.
then
Billy.
he's like,
Billy's irresponsible.
then got him wet, and it's like it wasn't nothing to him. Like, oh well, he seen
Mhm.
what happened to him, and it looked like it hurt him in the process, right?
Yeah.
Well, then he takes him to school for the professor to see. He wants him to see if he can tell him anything, but he tells him to watch this. He takes a dropper of water and drops it on him and makes him pop one out. Like
Right.
you were told not to get him wet. Now you do it on purpose.
Right.
So I mean, from a perspective now watching it, it was like, well, you just have
Yeah.
no
Like,
business having this thing or something.
you know what, Billy, you asked for it.
He did ask for it, and he got it like tenfold, I believe.
Mhm.
What about the neighbor they had? Was he not the one that would get drunk at the bar and had to take him back to his place tonight or something? He was always talking about the gremlins in the machines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they came
Him
from
and
World War One.
World War I. That and like the old lady at the bank. Oh my
Oh my god,
gosh.
that's like the old lady
Oh.
from Wizard of Oz, isn't it?
Oh
I
man.
say it's
I,
not the same lady. I mean, but she's
I
just
would have
the acts
lost
just
my
like her.
job. I
Yeah,
would have lost my job.
she's terrible. She's terrible.
I love the movie
Um,
though. Like it, I really do. Like this movie's phenomenal.
well,
It's so
yeah,
good.
the movie is great. I mean, it had like an $11 million budget. Those gremlins, each of the gremlins that they had and the Mogwai,
Mhm.
those are little machines that they had made. They're
Yeah.
not CGI or anything.
Yeah. When they
The
all go dancing around at the bar and stuff, you see them
yeah,
walking and all that.
they had some crazy stuff at the bar, didn't they?
Oh man. Oh, when they broke loose, man, that's when it really got hilarious. Like
Right.
they had like the little Bo Diddley gremlin in the corner, the blues guy in the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and the other gremlin was like messing with him with the little rubber ducky or whatever it was.
Right.
Dude, hilarious.
It was crazy. I mean, for the $11 million budget, they opening weekend in U.S. and Canada was 12,511,000. So they kind of got their money back just on the opening weekend, but it grossed 153,908,485 dollars. It was the fourth most grossing movie of the year.
Mm,
I know somewhere it tells me the ones that beat it out, but I think Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was one of them,
yeah,
if I'm not
I could
mistaken.
see
So
that.
yeah,
That was a big one.
was a big one. Um, Certain things about this movie, we brought this up before on some of the horror movies we did. Um, Things that make it a good movie
Hmm.
for what it is. So the key themes to the movie, responsibility and consequences, of course. The film explores how small mistakes can lead to big disasters, especially when the rules are ignored. And they were definitely ignored at one
Right.
point. And then so you ignored the rules, you've asked for trouble, and now you've gotten it. The holiday chaos, since it is at the holidays at Christmas time. This has the backdrop of Christmas to it, obviously. Uh, and it's has satire. I don't know how you say anything different, but satire of consumerism and holiday tradition. So I
Satirical.
mean,
Is it
satire. Well, it's actually says
satirical
here. It's actually
consumerism?
says here to satirize consumerism
Oh,
and holiday traditions.
to
I've never,
satirize. Yes. Okay.
I never heard it put that way before.
Yes.
Satirize. Of course, his father was an inventor, always trying to push his inventions on people and everything, and none of them work right like they're supposed to. At least not after the first couple of weeks. They always fall apart.
Hmm.
Um, and the holiday traditions, obviously, Christmas. You've got the Christmas trees, the people with the
Well,
Christmas
he
tree
tried
lights.
though. His dad's heart was in the right place. He tried so
He
hard.
did, and you're right. I mean, he honestly thought that he was going to make a good living with something like this. He had a couple of his contraptions that were out there in places for sale. He was working for the next big thing. Uh, just nothing came out for him. It didn't seem like.
Right.
Creature features, an homage to monster movies in the past, blending scares with humor. So it's not really a horror movie, although it's got some horror tendencies. It's not really a comedy, although it's got some funny spots.
Right.
Um, and I mean, nobody can argue the fact it's a Christmas movie. It's Christmas all around.
Right.
You got a
Sure.
very big, heartfelt tale of Santa Claus from Phoebe Cates, and talking about
Mhm.
why this is just another reason why she hates Christmas.
Uh,
And he asks her to kind of give her, why do you hate Christmas? Do you remember the little speech she gives?
I don't.
So her little speech, she's talking about that her father was always big on holidays, and he was trying to make this a great Christmas for him or something along those lines. And come Christmas Eve, I guess they hadn't seen him yet, and he hadn't come back home. And Christmas Day, the next morning, they couldn't find him. He's nowhere to be found. He hadn't come home yet. Um, and they were kind of worried about him, and something might have happened to him. And a day or so later, they had called the police to come to the house because there was an awful smell in the chimney, and they thought maybe that there was going to pull out a bird or something like that. And it turned out that after breaking up the chimney and everything, looking there, her father was going to come down the chimney like Santa Claus and got stuck in the chimney and died. That's why they couldn't.
Uh,
That's why they couldn't. Why they ever came there. So this is why she hates Christmas.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. It is terrible. This is why she. Just
That's
one more
awesome.
reason. Just one more reason to hate Christmas. She says,
One more reason
like she
to hate
needed another
Christmas.
one.
To
Uh,
hate Christmas.
do you now? I have to now. I gotta say this while I'm thinking about it. Gizmo, the name Gizmo.
Mhm.
Now, a good friend of mine had a little Chihuahua. He
Mhm.
recently just had to get put down. Unfortunately, he was very sick.
Mhm.
But his name was Gizmo. They called him Gizmo because of the movie. His grandson named him. He said he just watched the movie and they were debating on names for him. And he says, "How about Gizmo?" And I was like, "Well, when
I
you think
like it.
about it," I said, think about how wide his face was and how big his eyes was. I don't think he was.
Right.
I don't know if he was full Chihuahua or not, or if he had something else in with him. But it's just the face were reminding me of it. And something else later on came out with a big face like that and big eyes and some ears on it, and it was inspired by Gizmo from.
Grogu. You're
No,
talking about the child?
no. This is a toy in the 90s.
Mm.
It was
Oh,
in
the Furbies.
the Furbies. Yes, Furbies inspired by Gizmo.
I had a cat named Gizmo, and for the exact same reason. He had a big old wide head and wide set eyes.
Yep.
Great cat.
Do you know who voiced Gizmo?
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel. And my favorite thing, I mean, it just the he's not even saying anything super funny. It just sounds funny because of how high pitched it is. The
Right.
voice. And every time he gets near the dog, it's "Hey, woof woof, bye woof woof,
Bye, woof woof.
watch
And
out, woof
I don't
woof."
and I don't know that he's credited, but I have heard stories of Michael oh man, come on. Uh Police Academy. I know his name.
Yeah,
He
Winslow.
did Michael Winslow did the Gremlins.
Yes, yeah, like Spike and all them. Some of the things they did, he was
Mhm.
the voice of some of that. Absolutely.
That's why see, and there comes the Mandela effect. That's why everybody says that his name was Spike because it's so much easier to say it in Stripe.
Right, but it's not Spike.
Right, but we all called him Spike.
I,
That's one
I,
of the Mandela effects that I think is funny because I always knew his name was Stripe, but I called him Spike, and everybody called him Spike. We all called him Spike, but it was just easier to say it in Stripe.
I wonder.
And I thought
And
Spike,
but
I thought
listen,
Spike was one of the ones that was in the second one.
that's why I started to ask you: was Spike in the second movie, and we're just getting them confused?
I think he was, but they're calling that one Mohawk, and I don't
Okay.
remember that. I remember the brain. Civilization. When he shot, that was one of the funniest things I ever seen happen in a movie. In the second one, where the brain got smart and he's sitting
Yeah.
there and he's in the interview and he's like, "Civilization, that's what we want." And then the other gremlin standing there, he shot him with like a big old revolver. He's like, "Boom!" He's like, "See, that wasn't very civilized." It's like, what? Yeah, just
That's
great.
true. That's hilarious. Did you know that the set for the town there, the set for Kingston Falls, is the same one used for Back
Yes,
to the Future?
I did know that because we had talked about that not long ago. How a lot of places they film in the same places, and then the
Hmm.
sets and all.
Yeah.
Did you know that
Did
they
I?
tried earlier to have monkeys play the Gremlins, but they let go of that idea because a test monkey panicked when he when they stuck a gremlin head on him.
Right. They couldn't
Oh,
get him to
stick a
just.
gremlin head on a monkey. What the hell's
Uh,
wrong with you?
what do you think's gonna happen? It's not gonna work out too well.
Come here, it makes me think of Grandma's Boy. You ever seen Grandma's Boy?
Yeah.
You gotta watch. Oh, if y'all was gonna say if y'all hadn't, and those of y'all listening, if you hadn't seen Grandma's Boy, go watch it. Oh my god! But Dante, hey monkey, put this gremlin hat on, monkey.
Monkey. Oh my gosh. Some of the character, I mean, well, characters. Some of the people played in the movie. They had a really good cast. I mean, Zach Galligan
Hmm.
plays the role of Billy, the one that has
Billy,
Gizmo.
Billy.
Um, now I don't know if he was. I'm pulling him up right now to see if he started anything else major.
I don't know about
Um,
Major, but he worked for a long time.
Gremlins 2 as well. He was in Waxwork and Waxwork 2 Lost in Time. Let's go to the 80s though and see what he did in the 80s since that's what we're all about here.
Oh yeah.
He in the 1980s, his first movie was in a TV series actually, ABC After School Specials in 82. 83, the TV movie called Jacobo Timmerman, Prisoner Without a Name, Cell Without a Number. What a name. His
So
first big break though was Gremlins in 84.
check this out. I just learned this. I had no idea. Did you know that in 2023 on Cinemax, Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai cartoon came out?
No, I
And
did not.
I didn't either. And John Louis, the one that played the little boy and that actually sold the dad the Mogwai,
Hmm.
he is the voice of he's the Chinese magician and the newsy voice on one episode. But this was like
Wow.
a cool little animation. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this.
Well, as far as his 80s movies goes, there wasn't anything that's really notable except for what I mentioned already, the Waxwork and stuff and the other movies. Uh, he did, however, he was in something that you would like, and he was
Hmm.
uncredited in it.
Hmm.
He was a uncredited person in Hellraiser 3: Hell on Earth.
There you go.
It says boiler room patron getting stabbed with pool stick.
Oh, where, which one did he get stabbed with the pool stick in
This
Hellraiser?
is Hellraiser 3: Hell on Earth. It says boiler room patron getting stabbed with pool stick, uncredited.
I can remember. I remember that scene, but well, he looks so much different too. He really looks different. But that would have been around the same time, wouldn't it?
Well, close.
Yeah, I don't
Hellraiser
remember.
3 would have been out in 92. So, yeah, that's just 10-year difference, basically. A little less than 10 years.
Okay.
Phoebe Cates plays the girlfriend, Kate. Now, we know what Phoebe Cates is from. Her big claim to fame before this.
Drop Dead Fred.
No, that'd be after that. That'd be afterwards.
I'd make her see God.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
There
Drop
you
Dead
go.
Fred, and Private School. Those are the movies in the 80s I think she's most well known for.
What was her name? Or she wasn't even the one that Judge Reinhold was talking about when he said that, was she? It was somebody else. When he was pulling into school and he goes, I'd make her see God.
No, I think it was somebody different.
I think it was.
I don't think he had much paid much attention to her or knew who she was till later in the movie when she came out of the pool.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So after Gremlins, her next thing was Bright Lights, Big City, as an 88, Shag in 88, Heart of Dixie in 89.
Hmm.
Heart of Dixie, is that the, oh, that's the one that's got the girl played Princess Amidala in Star Wars.
Oh, you're thinking of uh, what is the name of the movie? The one with the Walmart baby or the one with the dog?
Yeah, the Walmart thing. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if it's called that or not. Now Drop Dead Fred was 91.
yeah.
I was thinking it was an 88, 89 type movie, but it's definitely a 90s movie.
Oh, Drop Dead Fred, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was living in Aiken when we saw that one. I think.
Hoyt Axton. There's two movies we're doing this month that you're going to see Hoyt Axton in, and this is one of them. He plays the father, Randall Peltzer.
Hmm.
He is a, as he says, inventor and tries to put his products out on everybody else. And nice guy, not great inventor though.
But Hoyt Axton also, I don't know if you saw this, but he was a composer as well, and he composed music on this movie. He did "The Joy to the World" on a Forrest Gump soundtrack. He did some music on Easy Rider. So
Yeah,
he did a
he's
few
done some
things.
country music in the past too, I believe, hasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. Might have seen him on Hee Haw.
Hey 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 ha ha ho. Might
Hee
have.
Haw ho.
Might have. Now I'm not going to go to the little boy there, John Louis. I mean, I don't know what he might have been in, but he didn't look like he'd had time to been around very long to be much of anything
Was it
else.
Win Dixie? I think the movie was Win Dixie. I'm
What?
sorry, I'm stuck on that. My ADD. The
Oh,
movie we were
the
trying to think
heart of
about.
Dixie thing I saw earlier.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of the girl from Star Wars, and I can't get her name in my mind right now for some reason. I keep calling her Princess
Oh,
Amidala.
she's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, man. She was female Thor, man. Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. There you go. I'm interested in this guy here. And the one that plays the grandfather, they just simply call him grandfather, is all it says. He doesn't have a name, but
Right?
grandfather. So he strikes me as somebody that you would have seen in Kung Fu Theater on Saturday mornings for the way they have him looking in this movie.
I know.
He has been in other
Or
things.
he could have been on Big Trouble in Little China.
Well, I don't know, but Gremlins 2, the new batch, he was in Charlie Chan at Monte Carlo and something called Alice. He was in the TV series Sidekicks for a little bit. Um, Probably done like one episode. No, 23 episodes. Um, let's see here. As far as his other work in the 80s, he's had some voiceover work in cartoons like in Jim and the Holograms and the New Adventures of Johnny Quest. He a couple episodes TJ Hooker. Here we go. 86 Kung Fu the movie.
Kung Fu the movie.
And then TV series like Crazy Like a Fox, Blade in Hong Kong, Street Hawk, Miami Vice, Trapper John MD, The New Mike Hammer, The A Team, Alvin and the Chipmunks, voiceover, Spider Man His Amazing Friends, voiceover, Mr. T, voiceover.
I pity the fool.
Everybody remembers that Mr. T cartoon,
Sucker.
right? Everybody knows that.
Heck yeah.
Anyway,
Heck yeah.
nothing really stands out as far as being a great movie to me.
Hmm.
Before that, even more TV series like Voyagers and Remington Steele, Brett Maverick, Mash, a lot more of voiceover work and everything. So anyway, he had a good career though and stuff. The things that he had concentrated on, he was on a lot of stuff. I mean, just not
Yeah.
a big movie actor.
Right.
Don Steele, not I'm just going to throw his name out there. He played Rockin' Ricky Rialto, the voice
He
of the
was
radio
the
they were
real
listening to.
He was the real Don Steele in Death Race 2000.
Uh,
He was. Have you never seen that
na-
one?
no,
That's
I
an
have
old.
not.
Oh, really? Oh, dude, you got to go back and watch Death Race 2000, man. That's an old David Carradine movie where they get points for running over people and stuff.
Right, but I definitely have not seen it though.
That's a crazy movie.
Corey Feldman has a bit part in it. His father
Mhm.
is selling Christmas trees on a lot, and I guess he brings over a Christmas tree for them and delivers it to the house.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's with um, Billy at the time whenever Gizmo puts out the little fur
And
babies.
then, and then Judge
And then,
Reinhold is in here with Phoebe Cates again.
right, he was the what do you call himself? Junior vice president of the bank or something.
Yes.
Man,
Yeah, he's funny in everything.
now I want to. This is somebody that I wanted to bring up. There's a few more names we got to bring out there for the movie itself. But this particular guy, I want to pull up his career because he is either somebody who's been on a ton of TV shows, and that's where I'm used to seeing his face, or there's a movie that stands out that I just can't call it. But
Harry Carey
um,
Jr.
no, this is going to be Dick Miller.
Dick
He
Miller.
passed away in 2019.
Dick
But
Miller. Well, he was the pawn shop clerk in he was in the
Terminator,
pawn shop in Terminator.
Uncle Willie in Tales from the Crypt Demon Knights. He was in the Burbs. Maybe the Burbs
Yep.
is what I'm thinking.
Ah, the
He was a
Burbs.
garbage man in the Burbs.
Yep.
But
Yep.
as
Yep.
far as 80s goes, what did he do? Because I mean,
In the
it just
80s,
reminds me. He's got that
man.
face that sticks out to me. You know.
Maybe Crazy Mel and Space Raiders.
Uh, I don't think that was it.
I remember him from The Howling. I used to like The Howling. There's not enough good werewolf movies. We need some more
I mean,
werewolf.
you really got to be a big werewolf fan though to to sit through a werewolf movie. Yeah,
I
TV
love werewolf
series. Yeah, a
movies.
lot of TV series in the 80s, late 70s, Barnaby Jones, and then you got what Open All Night, General Hospital,
Yeah.
Police Squad TV series, Taxi, Knots Landing, The Renegades. Not Renegade with Lorenzo Lamas, but The Renegades.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Sergeant, a police sergeant on there.
Yep.
Twilight Zone, the movie. Space Raiders, Get Crazy. All he was a teacher in All the Right Moves.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say I don't know for certain. There's several movies on here that I could have
He's
seen
one
him
of them.
in.
It may be that he's one of those that's just got a unique look to him, and he sticks out. So you remember him when you do
You
see
know,
him.
but one of the things I think it is because I watched it recently, getting
Hmm.
prepared for the month of Halloween.
Hmm.
He was in Chopping Mall.
Chopping
I might
mall.
remember him for a couple of months ago of when I was watching bits and pieces of Chopping Mall there.
So you gonna watch Chopping Mall and a dead rock star come back worshiping the devil and then bag on werewolves. My lord.
I mean, you really got to be a big werewolf fan to get into those
I'm
werewolf
telling you.
movies, man.
Yeah,
There's
I
not very
reckon.
many good werewolf movies. Let's be honest, not very many
Which
good werewolf movies.
name the bad ones?
Well, there's the Howling 2,
Nope.
the Howling 3, the
Wrong.
Howling 4, the
No.
Howling
Now
5,
you sound like Chili Ray
the
Phillips.
Howling 23, the Howling
Just
24.
just just wrong.
I'm just messing.
Incorrect, sir.
I'm just messing with you. An American Werewolf in London was pretty good. American Werewolf
Yep. In Paris,
in Paris was pretty good. Uh,
the
actually,
Underworld
the
series was
old
great, other than the fact that they called them moss. They called them lichens. But it worked for me.
yeah, and the old Howling movies really wasn't all that bad.
Oh, the Howling's fantastic. I watched one not long ago that actually turned out to be really good. It didn't have the most spectacular um, uh, effects in it, but it
Yeah,
had Jason Momoa. Let's see, and it actually was a really good werewolf movie. It's just called Wolves, and it came out in 2014. And he wasn't the central character, you know what I mean?
right.
But uh, but yeah, it was a really good one. And Ginger Snaps. Anybody that doesn't watch Ginger Snaps? Ginger Snaps is a great werewolf movie. Uh, There's one that just came out not long ago that's hilarious. Werewolves Within. Werewolves Within is a great one. So I can keep going with the werewolf movies.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. I take it back. I'm sorry. There are some good
Ah,
werewolf movies.
some good werewolf
Um,
movies.
Polly Holiday.
Dog Soldiers. Is Dog Soldiers 1980? If it is, I'm going to make you watch
Soldier, so I
it.
can't say.
Dog Soldiers. Dang it. It's that old? I mean, is that young? Is that new? I didn't know that. I thought that was way older. It's got one of my favorite actors, Kevin McKidd, in it. It's Dog Soldiers. It's about a elite, like Spetsnaz unit, or just some kind of elite military unit. And what it did was they experimented on them and turned them into werewolves. And then, or no, wait a minute, I'm getting this wrong. No, yeah, no, that's right. And then they end up in a house, and some people's fighting against them or something. But it's phenomenal. Anyway, sorry, Magua, which means
Mogwai.
demon in which
Uh,
means demon in Cantonese, by the way.
it means several things in other languages. Demon and I had it pulled up earlier. I can go back to it again in just a minute, but
Demon,
um,
devil, or
Poly,
gremlin.
we touched earlier on Polly Holiday. It plays Mrs. Deagle. That
Mr.
is
Desert Eagle,
the most hateful person since seeing the woman in Wizard of Oz.
Miss Deagle 50 cal. Yeah, I don't like her at all. Miss Deagle. She is hating on the dog. What was the dog's name?
Was it Barney?
Yeah, she was always hating on Barney.
Yeah. Let's see what else this Deagle lady was in though, because I mean, she just
Nothing good.
I don't know. I think you're right because I don't
She had
see
some
a
bit parts. I think she was in Miss Doubtfire or something. Some little
it's a
side,
lot. She's
little
a lot of
side
she's a
parts.
very big TV person.
Yeah.
She was in the sitcom Alice, played Flo Castleberry. Oh, she's Flo.
Flo,
You ever see the
not
TV
to be
series Alice?
confused. Yeah, but not to be confused with Flo from Progressive Insurance.
That is right, because Flo from Progressive does not tell people to kiss her grits.
That's right.
Yes, she was not a big movie person, just
Flo from
mostly
Progressive is
TV.
a nice lady.
She'll
Did you
kind of
know?
bore you to death though when she talks, you know,
Yeah.
and she'll
Did you
bundle
know?
that with something else that'll bore you to death.
Did you know that after watching Tim Burton's earlier short films, that Steven Spielberg had considered him to direct this very movie, but he didn't do it because at the time Tim Burton had never directed a full-length feature film. How do you feel this would have turned out as Tim Burton's first movie?
Hmm,
Makes me
I don't
wonder.
know. Might have been one of the movies of his I did like. I mean, I'm not a big Tim Burton fan. I like Batman,
Phew. See, that's
you
why we
know.
that's why we do this show, because opposites attract here in the real world. I don't know what Chris is thinking right now.
I
You don't
did
like
it.
you don't
You know,
like
it could be a
musicals
number of
either, do you?
things.
You
No,
don't like musicals.
some of them I do. Some look,
How
I
about
want
how about
listen,
Sweeney Todd?
listen. No, no. See, you don't went and said something now. Listen, I was gonna go watch. I was gonna go watch Wicked the day after Thanksgiving,
I want to watch it for real.
but I found out before I went up there that they're only showing the first half of it in a movie this year, and it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and the second half comes out already got a release date November 21st, 2025.
Are you serious?
Yes, so I'm just gonna wait till next year. I'll watch them both.
That's
Now,
goofy.
no matter what happens, it's not going to top the stage version of it. The stage version of this is very good. I've seen it twice. And I want to watch it again, but it's not been back through here in Nashville at TPAC while I've been here since back from Florida. So,
Mm,
very good music. That's the first musical I ever watched. And I wasn't going to go, but I was married at the time. My wife was like, I really want to go watch this. You got to give it a try. Just give it a try. I was like, all right, fine. I will give it a try. Whatever. I'll do it. And then I was
yeah.
like, we can watch it again. That was good.
Oh, that's funny.
And I
That's
actually
good
saw the
stuff.
one. I actually watched the version. It's the first one that went on tour. that had Adina Menzel playing the character of Elphaba,
Oh,
and
cool.
Kristen Chenoweth playing the Glinda, the Good Witch. So
Kristen Chenoweth.
I saw the
I
good version.
am so happy. Speaking of that type of thing, um, I actually got my 11-year-old. I was in here watching, and he's like, "Dad, what is this? The music's kind of cool." And then I was telling him the story. I actually got him to sit down and watch, and he enjoyed live the Phantom of the Opera 25th anniversary live at Royal Albert Hall, which is the
Wow.
best version to watch of that too.
Wow.
But that made me so happy because that's one of my favorites. So,
Oh,
did you know too that one of the reasons for the no bright light rule
mhm.
was in 1984 they couldn't completely navigate uh, the special effects stuff for the gremlins and puppets. They couldn't really get a hold handle on that. So by keeping them in the dark, it camouflaged stuff, which was an old sci-fi trick.
I I seem to remember reading that somewhere where they did that for some other horror movies too.
They the lumpy effects in the howling.
Wow, where did I see that at?
Ha
Oh,
ha.
isn't it funny that it's the Howling on top of it too? It's the Howling. You just got just wearing me out on the Howling movies, and now you find out they had a neat little tidbit of info on them.
I know something. Here's another Easter egg that's pretty cool. Miss Deagle, the richest lady in town, as I was talking about, there's so many Easter eggs in this movie that I'm definitely going to go back and watch this again and probably binge watch the second one right after.
Right?
Um, so Miss Deagle had her cats named after different kinds of currency, including the kopeck, the ruble, the peso, the drachma, and the dollar bill.
Yep.
I might name my
Yep.
cat Drachma.
And
It's
not one
Drachma. That
time,
sounds like
hey, and
pause.
not one time ever did she tell her cats to kiss her grits. Not
Not
once.
one time. She was
Not
sweet to the
once.
cats.
I
Would
said,
that
you
that
know what?
sounds like some
Listen, do you know what would have been cool?
what's
Is
that?
if she named one of her cats Mel.
Mel.
Right in Alice,
Mel.
it was Mel's Diner
Mel's
that they
diner.
worked at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
And
like
then if she got mad at the cat, she could have said in the movie, Mel, kiss my grits.
kiss my grits, Mel. I think though one of those cats had one of the coolest names ever. He sounds like he was on Game of Thrones. The
What,
Drachma.
the drachma?
I'd have called him Call Drachma.
Oh, drachma. My gosh, this film, I told you it had some competition. The film was released the same day as Ghostbusters in 1984.
Yes.
So that's
Which is wild.
and I told you also about I made reference to those gremlins they use being very expensive to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Zach Galligan recounted in an interview that when the movie was made, there was no CGI, so all the gremlins were animatronics, and
Mm-hmm.
each costing between 30 to 40,000, which is 60 to 90,000 these days, adjusted for 2024 inflation. When
Shoot.
everyone it says when everyone left the lot for the day, security would have everyone open their trunks of their cars to make sure they weren't being stolen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. How about it was originally planned for a Christmas release, but they rushed it into production because Warner Brothers found out that they had no competition for the summer movie season to go up against Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or Columbia's Ghostbusters. So
Yeah,
it would have been a legitimate Christmas movie, even
right.
though it is still legitimate. There's Christmas everywhere, but that's the reason it was planned for a Christmas release. Pretty
That's cool.
cool.
It is cool, and Christopher Columbus actually it says he went through several drafts before they finally come to the one that they agreed upon. But one of his drafts included killing the dog and cutting off the mom's head and tossing it down the stairs. And they were like, it's a little bit too hardcore for us. Joe Dante and Warner Brothers wanted the movie to be more family oriented.
hmm Wanted to be more family oriented.
That's
Why it would?
crazy,
I
isn't
don't.
it?
It wouldn't have been. I'm glad it turned out the way it did because if you tried to soften it up, I don't think it would have been nearly as good.
Yeah. A lot of good tidbits about it here and there. The movie. What was the for you like the highlight of the movie? What did you like best about it?
I would have had an answer to that had I not went back and watched 3/4 of it today. Um, and now I'm not. I'm just not sure. I'm just really, really not sure. Uh, man, yeah. I just don't know because It's tossing up between the really cool things that I saw with the like the Easter egg stuff. I absolutely love the the pool scene when Stripe runs by and scratches him and jumps off in the pool like ha ha. And then the bar scene is
I was gonna bring the bar
absolutely
scene back up.
hilarious. Like, yeah, the
Yes,
bar scene has got to be the at the top of the list. And let's see, it's the second one. It's the second movie where Gizmo is the second. This is gonna be my favorite if it's not the second movie where uh Gizmo puts on the headband and gets up like Rambo. He's got like the little
that's gotta be the
paper
second
clip.
one.
Okay, yeah.
So
So that's not this one.
in
So
in the
yeah,
first one, he's driving like the Barbie car all over the toy store.
that's right. Yeah, dude, it's so hard for me to pick because
Look,
that
the
part's
bar
great too.
scene, the bar scene gets me, and all the different things they're doing. Up to she turns around and one's behind the counter, and he rips open a trench coat, going, "Wah!" like he's flashing her.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
kidding me? Then she figures out the light thing with him, I guess, with the camera there by accident, and starts
Yeah.
blasting her way out. You can say with the camera flash.
Hmm.
Um, I definitely I guess for me I'll definitely stick with the bar part, the bar scene. I'll go with that one.
That would have been what I would have said had I not rewatched it today. Because like I said, there's a lot going on that I didn't give it credit for. There's a lot more. For everyone who has seen this movie and haven't seen it and haven't rewatched it in quite some time. We can say decades now because we're at that age. uh, Go back and re. This is one that I would highly recommend to go back and rewatch and pay attention to it. Like, don't just rewatch it for fun. Like, rewatch it and analyze it a little bit because
Yeah.
there's a ton of stuff going on in this movie that I had no idea before catching it today. Like I said, I
Well,
definitely, as soon as we get off of here, I'm gonna go make me a plate of some of my smoked meat that I spent 4 hours smoking today, and some deviled eggs and macaroni. My late
well,
Thanksgiving dinner. I'm gonna come back and sit down and watch both of these movies right in a row.
well. I tell you what, I'm gonna throw one more fun fact out here, and then we're gonna start wrapping things up. You're gonna have a moment to do that here very shortly. So
I dig it.
there are many connections to executive producer Steven Spielberg's other popular movie, E.T. In
Hmm.
this movie. Did you catch any of them?
I didn't. That one escapes me. I had not paid any
Well,
attention to that. I didn't really
somewhere,
catch any of that.
probably in the toy store, there's a stuffed ET. One of the gremlins says "phone home," and
Oh my God. Yeah.
at the beginning, one of the movies on the marquee is "A Boy's Life," which was the fake name under which ET, the extraterrestrial, was shipped to theaters in 1982.
Ain't that
Of course,
crazy?
that's so nobody could could make um, copies of it ahead of time to the redistribute or something. They changed the name on it where no one knew what it was coming in. That is crazy stuff, is it not?
On the ET?
Yeah, on ET in 1982,
They
they
changed
shipped
it.
it. They shipped it out with the movie. The movie name was a fake name on the outside of the box. It says "A Boy's Life."
What?
Yeah,
So they would
and
think it was so that way they would think it was a bunch of magazines.
or something. Just so nobody would bother with it. They didn't want it getting out early or anything.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
can't believe on that. Well, I my final thoughts and recommendations of the movie. It's a great movie. It's a great Christmas horror slash comedy that you can really enjoy. Kids are going to love it because of how funny it is. And these days, kids, really dig stuff like that. It seems like, um, It doesn't really have anything that's too awful bad. Some of the gremlin deaths are a little maybe it's probably more of a PG-13 than a PG movie because of some of those gremlin deaths. But overall, the
Yeah,
movie is not that bad. It's very fun to watch. Got a lot of cute moments that are really funny in it, and I definitely recommend it to anybody that wants to highlight their 80s repertoire this year or just revisit one they haven't seen in a while. Pick up Gremlins, go watch it. I know for a fact you can buy it right now on Vudu for $10, and that's not a bad buy. So,
and I don't remember. I don't remember if it's in one of my subscriptions or if it's just on Prime or what. But I've got it on Prime. I don't remember if I bought it, but you can find it on Prime pretty easy too.
well, there you go. Well, if you are new to the show and you want to catch us on social media, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we are on YouTube where we upload our stuff every week. And as I get time, I upload some of our older catalog that has not yet made it there. And we've probably got about another 50 or so to go as far as uploading some of the old stuff. And then
Hmm.
that'll all be done and caught up in real time. So that'd be nice when we get that done. Uh, if you have any questions or you want to let us know your thoughts on Gremlins, you can reach out to us at retrolife for you. That's number four, YOU at gmail.com. You can also leave messages on the places I mentioned before in the social medias and YouTube. If you want to listen to us online, you can go to our website at retrolife the number four, the letter U.com, and you can listen to the audio in the web browser on our player there, or you can go to the show notes and watch the video from the show notes that's uploaded to YouTube. Either way, you can, whichever way you choose to enjoy your podcast, we got it going both ways for you. So you got choices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Travis, might
Hmm.
you have anything this week to take us out or
To start off the Christmas season, I've been watching. I've been watching. This is the Voice. I'm watching the Voice, right?
yeah?
And got some information on there for the best search engine for Christmas songs on the internet. It's Michael Google.
Google. Are you serious?